Today we're doing lesson 4.1. That's module 4. We're starting a brand new module today, yay. And we're doing lesson 1 for module 4, okay? And your learning goal today says I can make and analyze line plots. So now what we've created is a line plot. A line plot is when you have one number line at the bottom. Do we have any number lines on the sides? No, we have a number line. The ruler is your number line at the bottom, and then you're plotting your data. You're writing 1x in a stack going up for every single pencil length that we have. Looking at this, what is the length that comes up the most? 6 what? Inches. Very good. What's the second most? What's the third most? What's the fourth most? What's the shortest length we have? 4 inches. What's the difference between the longest length and the shortest length? 3 inches, because the longest is 7 inches and the shortest is 4 inches. Do you see how we can get a lot of data about our pencils from this line plot? Very good. Did before. So this time we're going to make another class line plot, except do you see how now your ruler doesn't just have inches, it has quarter inches? Okay, so when I call in your name, you're going to tell me how many inches to the nearest quarter inch. For example, Haley, what's yours?
5 and 2.
5 and 2 quarters. So we can see right here, here's 5 on our ruler, on our number line. And 2 quarters, here's 1 quarter, and here's 2 quarters. Do you guys see that? Okay, so we're all going to put an X over 5 and 2 quarters. Let's continue doing this. When I call your name, tell me your measurement. And as a class, we're all going to be making the line plot by drawing all the X's. Do you see that? Okay. I want you to know when you're making a line plot, if 2 people have the same data, both Ananya and someone else, I forget who, had 6 and 1/4. Okay? So what we do is we just put the X's in a straight line right above each other. That lets us see right now which length has the most. Right away we can see only this one has double. See that? Okay? Yeah. Good. Looking at this line plot, let's analyze it and see what we can tell. What's the longest length we have? 7 and 1/4. That's the longest we have. Turja was answering a different question. Which length comes up the most frequently?
6 and 3.
6 and 3/4. Very good. What's the shortest pencil? 4 inches. So what's the difference between the longest length and the shortest length? 7 and 1/4 minus 4. 3 and 1/4 inches. How does this line plot, these are called line plots, we need to remember that. How does this line plot? One final time. This time we're measuring to the nearest 1/8 of an inch. So is it going to be even more precise than before?
Yes.
Based on what you know, do you think we're going to have more people with the same numbers, so more stacks of X's, or more different numbers? Yeah, because the larger measurement you use, if you just use inches, then everyone's going to have one of the inches, right? When we go to quarter, it became a little more diverse or more spread out. Do you think if we go even smaller to 1/8, it'll be even more spread out? Yeah. See how that works? All right, we're going to go back our original way. Haley, what was your number?
5 and 3/8.
5 and 3/8. Now this time on my ruler, here's 5, and I have to count. These are 8s, so 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to make an X right there at 5 and 3/8. How are the 3 line plots alike, Marvin?
They're alike because they're all in inches.
They're all talking about inches. That's the unit. But are they all measuring in inches, really? The first one was an inch, the second was 1/4 of an inch, and the third one was an 1/8 of an inch. So that's not how they were alike. How were they alike, Gia?
They all had duplicates.
They all had some duplicates. Did they all have a number line on the bottom? Right? Okay. So now's the part where we're going to start writing these answers down. They're alike because they all have a number line at the bottom, and the data is recorded using X's based on the numbers of the number line. When there were duplicates, we would stack the X's above. They're also alike because they're all measuring the lengths of your pencils. Do you agree? So let's go ahead and write these answers down. If something asks you to make a line plot and it gives you some data, what's the very first thing you'll have to make? The very first thing you'll have to make is a number line. If you don't have a number line going across the bottom, can you just draw random X's and make a line plot? The very first thing you have to do is a number line. Now, how are they different? Well, at first we were measuring 1 inch, and then 1/4 inch, and then 1/8 inch. As we were moving down, was it getting more or less precise?
More.
Good, it was getting more precise. And as it got more precise, was there more or less duplicates?
Less.
Very good. So let's write that down. Less duplicates. So in order to do this, we have to go back and look. At the first line plot, what was the longest measurement? What was the longest measurement? Not the most frequent, but the longest measurement. What was it? 7 inches. What was the shortest? 4 inches. So what was the difference between the longest and the shortest? 3 inches. Very good. On the second one, what was the longest measurement? 7 and 1/4 inches. What was the shortest inch measurement? 4. So what was the difference between the longest and the shortest? 3 and 1/4 inches. On the third line plot, what was the longest measurement? 7 and 3/8. What was the shortest? 4. So what was the difference? 3 and 3/8 inches. Do you guys see how the difference between the longest and shortest is also getting more and more precise? Very good. This isn't in your books, so your eyes need to be up here. This line plot right here, is this a line plot? How do we know it's a line plot? Well, there only needs to be 2 things for a line plot. Is there a number line?
Yeah.
Okay. This one happens to be a ruler too. Do all line plots, number lines need to be rulers? Is a ruler just a number line?
Yeah.
Okay. Does it have X's to mark the data?
Yep.
Then it's a line plot. Okay. So it says the following line plot shows the growth in inches of 10 bean plants, during their second week after sprouting. So during week 2, how tall was this bean plant? Well, it's 1 and 3/4 of an inch. Do you see that? Okay. How tall was this one? 2 inches. What about this one?
2.
How many bean plants were 2.5 inches? How many? 2, because we can see right here that this is 2.5, right? Okay. So let's answer these questions. If you look at today's learning goal, it says we can make and analyze line plots. Have we made some line plots?
Yeah.
Do you feel like now you know how to make a line plot?
Yeah.
This part where we get a line plot and we're answering questions about it, that's when you're analyzing and understanding a line plot. So the first question says, what is the measurement of the shortest plant? Well, right here, this is the shortest plant. Do you agree? So what is the measurement of the shortest plant? 1 and 3/4. What's the units? Inches. I can tell that because here's 1. This is 1 and 1/4, 1 and 2/4, 1 and 3/4 inches. Do you see that? And that's where the shortest plant is. Very good. How many plants measure 2.5 inches? Well, here's 2, and this is exactly halfway. So how many plants measure 2.5 inches?
2 plants.
2 plants. Very good. Okay. See how we can look at the line plot and get some data, get some understanding of what's going on with the plants? That's analyzing a line plot. Okay. Question number 3 says, what is the measurement of the tallest plant? Well, right here, that's the tallest plant. So here's 2, and it's a small tick mark. So let's see, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 8 of those, right? So right here, this is 2 and what?
7.
What's the units? Very good. Now, what's the difference between the longest and the shortest measurement? So we know the longest is 2 and 7/8. What's the shortest plant right here? What is it? 1 and 3/4. So we have to take the longest, 2 and 7/8. We have to take away the length of the shortest, 1 and 3/4. But we know 1 and 3/4 is the same as what? 1, is what? 1 and 6/8. So what's 2 and 7/8 minus 1 and 6/8?
1 and 1/8.
1. So the difference between the tallest and shortest plant is 1 and 1/8 inches. So looking at a line plot, we can get a lot of information, yeah? Okay.